Hi, my name is Jason Ellinger. I'm the CEO of Taika Translations, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the wall. The wall in business, for that matter, for other areas of our life that matter. Any area of life where we're trying to make incremental progress over time, there is a wall. And not many people, I haven't heard many people talk about this, but I've experienced it in my life and in our business. And I want to share this with you because it's incredibly important for progress and for success over time in all of the areas of life that actually matter to you. And that is like, it looks like this to explain it. Like you start off doing something and you do a bunch of work. Okay? You do a whole bunch of work, and this could represent any amount of time, 10 years, 2 years, whatever, in your journey towards becoming wealthier or becoming more physically fit or becoming stronger in your relationships or becoming better at whatever area of your life. And in particular, I want to relate this to the business aspect because this happens in business and it's unbelievably frustrating. You get into business, you kind of start figuring out what you're doing in your business. You want to get better. You're getting better at your business. You get processes figured out. You get your accounting figured out. You start understanding how to build a team and how to connect them, how to integrate them. And all of a sudden you find yourself having some level of success. And as you get that success, you hit a wall. You're standing right here. I'm not an artist. I'm not going to claim to be an artist. I'm going to draw a stick man. That's the best I can do. You hit a wall in your business. And you get a mundane level of success. Or you hit it in your physical workouts or your relationship statuses or whatever. You hit this wall. And when you hit this wall, something in your mind says, maybe I can't. Maybe I can't get over it. Maybe I can't get through it. Maybe I cannot pass through this wall. Maybe. Or maybe it's just not for me. Or maybe all kind of unbelievably limiting beliefs happen. Right here. But you've done so much work. I'll move this a little bit. You've done so much work. We'll say 80%. I'll write it up here. I don't think you can see that. We'll say you've done 80% of the work. Right here, right? And you hit a wall. And then, even worse, you have some level of success. So maybe you have some extra income. Maybe you have some money set aside, or maybe you've got in decent shape and you're happy with where you're kind of happy, but not fully happy with where you are. And then what happens is I'm going to make some sparkly stuff here. There's some sparkly stuff, some sparkly stuff, some more sparkly stuff. You start looking around. Because it's too hard to get through this wall, this sparkly stuff around you starts to grab your attention. And that maybe is like, oh, what brought you here was this exercise routine. And now all of a sudden, you hit this wall and you can't really see a way through it. It's just a freaking wall right in front of you. And you start getting distracted. You start going and doing that, and you start going and doing that, and then you start going and doing that, and you start going and doing that. And you're still at the same exact spot. And you get frustrated because you're stuck. And I've been here. I've been right here in different times in different areas of my life. Like, man, I wanted to be better. I wanted to have stronger relationships. I wanted to be further along in my business. I wanted to be better. But I wasn't. I was stuck right here, and I started to get distracted. And this is something I've heard of with other business owners. The same exact problem. They experience some level of success, and then they hit this wall. This is this big, massive wall. And it looks like it's impenetrable, because it pretty much is. And until you take up the sledgehammer and start busting your freaking way through that wall, busting and busting it and busting it and busting it and busting it until you make a hole, you don't get to experience this. Here to here, from here to here is like 10 years or whatever period of time it is you've been working on something really hard. And that's 80%. Here to here is like 3 years. And you want this, but we stop right here before we get there because we're stuck behind this big, massive, ugly wall. Maybe it's a knowledge gap. Maybe it's a software gap. Maybe it's a resources gap. Maybe it could be any matter of things. But the way to get this through this wall is first to identify it's the wall. One, it's a wall. Wall, I've identified it. And two, to pick up the freaking sledgehammer and start beating the heck out of the wall. There's no other way through it. Massive increase of energy. Massive increase of energy focused right there on that wall. Right there, where you're standing, right there, pick up the sledgehammer, draw a little sledgehammer here, sledgehammer, boom, and start swinging. And you swing at that wall again and again and again. And what does that look like? That looks like repetitions. That looks like practicing your marketing. That looks like, I don't know what I should be doing, so I go get some information and I start. I go get a little information. Don't spend all your time, because if you spend all your time on information, it starts to become a distraction. Then you get your butt to work and you start beating and beating and beating and beating until you get through that wall. An important thing to remember is that you have to visualize in your mind what's on the other side of that wall. Otherwise, you'll never fully break through it. You have to visualize that this is not a 10% growth curve. This is exponential growth. And this is outlined in the book Good to Great by Jim Collins. This event in businesses happens when they focus, address reality, and they powerhouse through the wall. And they break through and they go exponentially up. And this takes like 3 years, where this took you 10 years. But too many people give up right here. And what I want to encourage you to do is not give up right here. Push through it, learn something new, and put incredible energy right here. Focus it until you beat that hole through that wall. And that's what I've got for you today. I hope it's a help and an encouragement. But every single one of us hit this wall in business and in life in different areas. And until we beat the hole through it by focused intentionality and learning something new, we don't get to the incredible pot of gold. Here, I'm just going to put a pot of gold here. We don't get to that incredible pot of gold, whether that's physical health, whether that's financial wealth, whether that's relational wealth or academic success, any of those things. This is where it lies, and you've already done most of the work. You've pretty much identified almost everything you need. You've done 80%. But to get through here, to get through this wall, it feels like you have to do this 80 all over again. But it's like you just have to do this basically for like 10 months. It seems like a long time for people in this day and age, right? 10 months. But you do that, you beat really, really hard, 10, 18 months, you're going to get through that wall and you're going to see this exponential growth. So, hope that was an encouragement for you. That's my tip for this week.